Hello, and thank you for watching our screencast today. My name is Jared Skeggs. I am Vice President of Sales and Marketing for Digital Design Solutions. My business partner is Kevin Gilbert. Kevin is Vice President of Design and Operations for our company. We are reproducing a presentation that we did at the Atlanta Metro Baptist Association on Monday, May 5th, 2008. We were invited there by Joel Harrison, lead missionary, to the Atlanta Metro Baptist Association, and Joel wanted us to share with his group some of our knowledge about the digital church and how we're helping churches embrace digital church concepts. So we gave them a conceptual overview of what digital church was all about and really helped them understand some of the relevance that digital church has to the church today. And these screencasts are really just a continuance of that, so that we can provide that to them and to you, their member churches, in a condensed version. So let's start out and make sure everybody understands what the digital church is. In reality, it can be a lot of different things. It's the internet, it's online community, podcasts, webcasts, new media, and many other things. And the bottom line is this: when you think about the digital church, we want you to think about it as a dynamic, always-on support mechanism for relationships that begin face-to-face at church. Okay? At its core, digital church is really about communication, and more specifically, it's about effective, efficient, optimal communication among groups, whether they're small or large, and even communication between individuals. Now, this screencast is going to focus on the podcasts and webcasts section of the presentation that we did. Very simply, a podcast or a webcast is a syndicated, subscription-based message posted by an individual or an organization. Podcasting has become a very popular form of outreach in the church today, and it's part of what really defines the digital church, and that it's the process of delivering the church's message in digital form. Let's take a closer look at what makes a podcast, or a webcast, a webcast. You may have heard of a term called RSS. RSS stands for Really Simple Syndication. And RSS makes possible the ability to publish or broadcast a media file so that any subscriber can automatically receive that media file. Okay? I want to draw an analogy for you here. I want you to think of a podcast or a webcast kind of like a magazine or newspaper or even an email newsletter subscription, with a couple of minor differences. Okay? With a magazine, newspaper, things of that nature, even email, you somehow request a subscription, right? Either by telephone, snail mail, email, or website. Somehow you tell the publisher of that material, hey, I want to receive your publication, so send me any new issue every time you publish. Anytime you got something new, I want a copy of it. So then the publisher, they put you on their list or on some sort of periodic basis, and then on some sort of periodic basis, their publication arrives in your mailbox or it hits your driveway like a newspaper. Okay? The principle is very similar with a podcast or webcast. You request a subscription to the publication of your choice. Only with a podcast, you don't have to share personal information with the publisher. In fact, requesting that subscription is literally as easy as clicking a button. There are a couple of other aspects about podcasts or webcasts that are really great too. One of the first ones is really that anytime you decide you don't want to receive that publication anymore, canceling your subscription is just as simple as clicking a button again. Okay, so there's not a cumbersome subscription to manage. If you've ever tried to stop getting an email subscription or even a magazine or newspaper subscription, a lot of times you'll end up with a lot of additional issues that you never really wanted, and you got to do something with those. That's not the case with podcasts. The second thing is, obviously you don't have to worry about storing those, disposing of those, whether they're emails or paper. And one huge final benefit to podcasts and webcasts is that they're free. I want you to note too in this graphic the direction of the arrows here. Magazines, newspapers, email newsletters are all pushed to the subscriber. So the newspaper company, they push that into your driveway. The magazine subscription gets pushed into your mailbox. The people who are doing the email newsletter, they push that into your email box. Okay, podcasts or webcasts really gives the user, again, some control, kind of like online community. And the user, to a degree, pulls only the publication material and information that they want. Okay, so you can see in this graphic, the orange thing would represent a podcast. The thing under the mailbox is iTunes. iTunes is not platform exclusive. You can use it on a Mac. You can use it on a PC. It's free, and it's an RSS reader, so to speak. And what happens is you say, hey, I want to subscribe to this podcast. This is the address. This is the RSS feed or address for this podcast. So anytime I turn you on iTunes on my computer, anytime I launch your application, I want you to reach out on the internet to that address, and I want you to see if there's anything new that's been posted at that address. If there is, I want you to download it to my computer. It's really that simple. I want you to take a look at this video quickly. This is an example of how easy it is to subscribe to a podcast. I've gone to the iTunes Music Store here, and let's say I want to subscribe to the Relevant Magazine podcast. I'll go over here, I'll type in Relevant, and automatically I get a drop-down box. There's the Relevant podcast. I can click on that, and it's going to load up all the returns that relate to Relevant. So I click on the graphic there. That takes me to the Relevant Magazine podcast, and there's the subscribe button. Okay, literally all I have to do is click the subscribe button, and I'm subscribed to that podcast. Okay, anytime I turn on iTunes, it's going to go look for any episode that's new. As you can see here, it's downloading the episode from April 25th, 2008. Now, I'm not going to take the other minute. I'm not going to make you watch the other minute of it downloading, but essentially when it's done, it'll take me right back to the Relevant podcast page on the iTunes Music Store. Okay? Now, a couple things I'll show you here real quickly. I'm going to go to the podcast section. This is in my iTunes library, and there's the Relevant podcast that I just subscribed to. That's the actual episode I just downloaded. Okay? Notice a couple things. There are 4 or 5 other episodes. If I want those, I just click Get. If I want all of them, I can click Get All. And then the other thing that I talked about is the beauty of podcast subscriptions is, I'll say the Relevant podcast was not what I thought it was going to be. All I got to do is come down here and unsubscribe, and then anytime I launch iTunes, it's no longer going to go get that content. So it's really that simple. That's just a brief overview of how powerful and easy it could be to subscribe to podcasts. And we'll talk more in our presentation live about the importance of podcasting and why every church should be considering doing podcasting today. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions, feel free to contact Joel Harrison at the Atlanta Metro Baptist Association, or you're welcome to contact us directly. You can find us on the web at www.digidsolutions.com. That's D-I-G-I-D solutions.com. You can also email us at info@digidsolutions.com. Appreciate your time and have a great day.